And we are live. Welcome to the third episode of the Degen Report, featuring three alcoholics, but only one of them at a crazy bachelor weekend. So during this episode, we are inviting Mr. Universe 25 himself, Max. Say hi and please introduce yourself, man.
Hey, hi, my name is Max. I'm kind of co-founder of Universe.25. Been in Cardano forever, and also joined the Fudbuddy team together with Jack and Lewis. So we're doing Fudbuddy Universe all together. So happy to be here and chatting about NFTs and whatever questions you guys have for me. I'm quite worried about, but it'll be fun.
So it should be a good episode. But let's talk to Tyler, who had a crazy weekend.
Yeah,
I
what's
want to
up,
know
guys?
everything.
Sorry, my voice is still gone. I just got back yesterday from, like Mitch said, my bachelor weekend. So yeah, we had a great time. One of my friends ended up getting lost and having to hitchhike home from the bar with some random people. My other friend went to find him and fell down on the concrete and cut his arm up really bad. Um, a fence got broken in the backyard of our rental house.
Nice.
Um, yeah, but
How?
overall, I mean, not too many calamities. Oh, so the two guys that got lost, they made their way back, but they were on the wrong side of the road, so they tried to jump over the fence and ended up just knocking it down because they're
Jesus
both
Christ,
pretty.
man.
They're both pretty big dudes. Like one of them's like 6'4", so he just knocked the fence over. Um, so yeah, overall, it was a good time. Had a lot of drinks. Yeah, good time. Great time. Happy to be back here in my own bed, sleeping and drinking water.
Good, good, good. So this was your bachelor party, though.
Yes, it was my bachelor party. I
But
get married in 67 days.
Jesus Christ,
Yes,
poor
sir.
guy, poor guy,
Thank you, Max. Thank you,
Mac,
Max.
congratulations.
poor
as well.
guy.
Unfortunately, I don't live with my parents, nor am I
Yeah,
single anymore.
feels bad.
Fortunately,
Feels bad to be
hey,
you guys.
living at your parents', those were the good old days. No
Yeah,
bills,
Yeah,
water bills, electricity bills. You can run a podcast basically
free
for free.
food.
free food.
Free food
They
is really what counts.
yeah.
True.
It's too bad they make me live off of shitty quesadillas, but that's
I
It's
have
a
fine.
hard
I
time.
have
It's a hard
doubts.
time.
Doubts.
But anyways, this week we only have a single Twitter question for Max, and that question being, what is your favorite small detail about the society drop? And then let's also ask, what is your favorite leaked detail about the Euphoria drop?
Oh, details of unis on society. The first drop is difficult. There's a lot. There's a lot to digest. I think there's even some that haven't really even came out. Like after 6, 7 months of us having minted. The one I liked was the trait, like the face, like the mole that was there. It took like I think back in, so we minted in November, and I think back in February was the first time somebody pointed it out, which I think was quite a good detail. On the charms, the spray cam charms, there's a lot of little stuff written on it that people took a while to zoom in on. Um, the hidden traits are always cool because we kind of enjoyed those, like the tattoos,
Yeah,
the
big
cassette, like
big fan of the tattoos. Big fan. I've been slowly picking up a couple of tattoos
sick.
because going back like 6 months, everything thing I bought was just donut this, donut that, as you can see in the background. So I've kind of been like looking in two other traits. So, like I'm also a big fan of the punk
Yeah,
mohawk.
Mohawk punk. Yeah,
That's also big. Tattoos, just like the sunglasses. I've been buying a bunch of those too. Yeah.
Yeah, the sunglasses are pretty cool. I like the little details on them. Like we even have like the one branding and stuff. There's a lot of I think that's something that we tried to do with the project was really try to bring in details and forcing people to kind of looking at the NFT rather than just buying them and putting them in a wallet and trying to flip them as quick as possible. And I think we kind of achieved that with the community we have. Like I think we have a lot of people that are really attending to detail. Like even just like a massive thread, I think my clicks that just analyzed the color palettes that we basically worked on for weeks with Flavio, just working out what is the best color combos that works across all the, all the traits and stuff. And we both have a graphic and art direction background. So for us, that was really important to kind of achieve is really make sure that no matter what kind of weird combination the generation can throw at us, it would work in good harmony. So I think that, well, to be honest, with the color palette, I'll take back. I think the color palette is pretty much something I'm quite proud of what we did with Society 25. I think, I'd say that.
And kind of on the opposite, what is the worst trait? Because I have a trait that I hate so much.
The power donut.
I've got
I think that's
two.
the one, right?
Oh shit, man.
No, so initially when we created the power donut, like Flavio was just like, I'm running out of fucking ideas, and he just started drawing, and he just did it, and we were like, it's hilarious, why not? We never seen an NFT project do that, so let's keep it. And then we were like, okay, we have to brainstorm the name, and then I was like googling, and then the meaning with the power donuts, with this kind of like the big corporate CEOs all having this bald spot on the top and having the hair around it. But it also means the power donut you put around the electric cables to kind of track the voltage. So it's kind of like spying on data in a way. So we felt that this was perfect. And so after that, we were like, even if we hate it, we have to put it in just for the name, just for power donut's sake. I remember George was like, we have to minimize the rarity count so we don't flip it as much, because he's like, I don't want this in the collection.
That's so funny. Like looking at it now to what it's kind of become.
Yeah, and I think that's like what I enjoyed about it. It's like I think before you kind of came across, I don't think many people really paid attention to the power donut, and you kind of made it your religion in a way. I think you have a lot of people that make their charms, what they really like, and their combos and how it works. Like me personally, I'm a fan of low trait counts, NFTs in general. So no matter what I really go into, I love low trait counts. Usually those are the ones I like to go for. So for me, like the naked ones with color matching backgrounds are the best.
Same.
That's my favorite.
Like I have the beast with the green sun go.
Yeah, that one's it.
Donut.
Yeah. I think Mendes has one of my favorite, and Banjo has one, and PFP is quite sick. The color combination is just so fucking good.
But my least favorite trait is a face trait, and it is the acne.
So
why would you add something so ugly into a NFT project?
So the problem is that you mentioned this. Ivan's gonna love it because he was against this trade. I was like, everybody he hated it, and we were all ganged up on him. We're like, no, let's do it because nobody else is doing that type of NFTs and that type of And we were like, what we wanted to do with the collection, because we call everybody humans. That's what we really like, and we don't, no matter who you are, how much NFTs you have, how little NFT you have, we kind of say everybody's like equal when it comes to that, because we're just all humans. So we really also want to represent that as an NFT in a way that there's people walking around with acne and there's nothing wrong with it, so we wanted to kind of do that kind of stuff and make it what it is, and not shy away from it because it's not marketable or however you want to brand it. But so we're like, okay, fuck it, let's put it in there, and I enjoy it. I don't think it's a bad trait. I think to me the one is maybe the slick hair. That's the one I was like, it's a bit boring, but
the like buzz cut on the side and then. So
no, it's the one that's like all perfect, like all wave, not the slick, like it's all nice and slick hair.
Looks kind of like your hair.
No, I had a hairdresser come by real quick today and just get it prepped. I have to get ready for your podcast.
Always, because it's just like so professional. So you guys are planning on dropping Euphoria relatively soon. Do we have a date?
No, I wish. And right now, the only thing that we kind of promised ourselves is to not commit to a date before the art is done. So the day we announce a date is when the art is done. Reason why is we didn't anticipate that much work because we have to double each trait twice, so it's a ton of work from our Flavia side. So we just want to look, do your thing, make it good, make it quality. We preach that since day one. We don't compromise on quality, even if it takes a little longer. And it's not worth burning out your artists because So that's our goal with it.
So, what percentage of the art is done then?
I don't really know because I came back from my vacation. Flavia just flew to his. He's now off on a quick 1 week vacation. I'd say 60.
60%?
Flavia, don't kill me.
That's
I'd say
not bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I have his iPad, but I can't unlock it. It's here in the office, but I can't unlock it. So,
he knows that you can't, because if you do, you'll leak fucking everything.
I'll just copy Control A and just drag and drop it in the Discord channel. Look, guys, have fun. Hope you like it.
Yeah, but then kind of talking about Euphoria, so 60% of it is done. So of that 60%, do you have a favorite trait?
Honestly, Devil's Horns are sick. And what he's gonna do with the wings is fucked up.
Tell us just a tiny bit more.
I think the Devil Horns we leaked already, right? On the live Discord or something like that. I think. There's just again of what Flavio does best. He's just when he does a trait, he gets lost in the idea and he spends way too much time per trait. If you look at it from a time efficiency perspective, it's not the best because sometimes you'll get lost in details. But from a perspective of making the collection really interesting, it's the best because he just goes in and scribbles little details, on the spray cans, with the when question mark and watch your back and stuff like that. It's just, to me, it's the best part of our project. So I'm I don't want to have him have to sacrifice that for purpose of pumping stuff out quicker. So the horns, from what I've seen, he's etched some stuff in the horns, and it's quite fun. It's a good one. I like it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ones. So
I've seen a couple powdered donuts, and I'm super excited to evolve my donut boys.
Who showed you that?
My old men. So Flavio sent me a single one, which looked kind of like me, but that's the biggest leak I can tell you guys.
Yeah, the power donut one we don't want to leak too quickly. I'm sitting on it. I'm looking at it now because I have our folders, shared folders. I'm looking at it now. It's a fun one. It's either going to be similar to the first one. You're going to love it or you're going to hate it. There's two options. There's no in between.
But
Nice.
anyways, that kind of leads us into the giveaway that we will be doing. And that giveaway will in fact be a donut, but not just any donut. It's a super clean blue donut. So for this week, the secret word is going to be tequila. Yeah.
I actually don't like tequila at all. I didn't drink any. A lot of people had some, but I don't like tequila at all. We had a lot of Jello shots and vodka bombs, which is vodka bombs are it's vodka and then this orange seltzer water, and it
Jesus
tastes
Christ,
it literally tastes like orange juice.
Orange juice,
Yeah,
sounds
a lot
fantastic
of vodka bombs.
though.
Yeah.
But the Jello shots should be made illegal. It's not okay.
By the time we got to the third or fourth bar that we were going to, my buddy, I can't my memory's kind of choppy, but I just remember him going up to the bartender and putting down a bunch of cashews. I want 20 Jello shots, and they come in these little containers, and he's hey, and he's just throwing them to people because they're in these little plastic containers with a lid. So he's just throwing them to people across the bar. It was so fun.
Yeah,
it was so much fun. I took a shot out of I need to find it. One of my buddies needs to send it to me. I took a shot out of a snorkel that you swim with.
Yeah,
because we're at the beach. So I'll get that and I'll put it on my Twitter so everybody can see it.
Jesus, man. Well, I'm very, very happy you got back safe.
Yeah, definitely one. That sounds like we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, it was a. Oh, and I was about to say, yeah, it was a very long night and a long morning after.
Jello shots, no shit. It's
Good,
gonna knock you
good,
out for it.
They
good
were so
though,
good.
because in 2 months you'll never be able to do that ever again, man. You'll
Yeah,
be
no
married,
more.
you'll have kids, you'll be paying off mortgages. That's the dream.
That's the American dream, baby.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Don't try moving to Switzerland. That's definitely not Swiss dream.
Yeah, no. Now let's get into today's questions. Tyler?
Can I go first? Can I go first? Because this was mine
Yes.
that I wanted to ask Max about the most. Um, so I wanted to put this one first because I feel like it's like a hot topic on like CNFT Twitter right now. So I just wanted to see what your take was on all of the cornucopias like drama going on Twitter with everybody. Like, what's your take? How do you feel about them doing another really big mint? How do you feel about them um, basically like calling out? I don't want to mispronounce his name. Is it Rory? Rory the on
Rory,
Twitter.
yeah, Rory.
Yeah,
Roy?
sending
That
like the sending the minions after him. What's your thoughts?
I'm going to be really Swiss about this, but no, fuck it. No, there's 2 points, 2 aspects of it. If you look at it from a business aspect, personally, let them do whatever they want. If they, think they can capitalize on the market that it is right now and there's no demand, okay, that's a business choice, right? You can disagree or agree with it. That's not discussion. What they did about that tweet, to me, that was messed up. It's kind of like, you don't use your community. That's not how you should deal with a situation like that. You should have just replied to
Yeah,
it, say, look, that's a strategic goal behind the mint. We need more funding to reach our goals. Make it a game. Nobody's going to argue with anybody. It's freaking expensive.
yeah,
We all know that. There's no hiding behind it. If you personally believe that Cornicopia is going to actually manage to pull through with it, and you feel like you're going to mint, more to give them more funds to reach that goal that you want it to reach, cool, do that. But don't send your entire community over to a person just because he disagrees with what you're saying and pointing facts that are questionable, right?
yeah,
So to me, yeah, I wasn't all up with that. I think that's not a good move from their part. Again, just playing devil's advocate with, or being neutral as, we the Swiss are. I'd say, business cornucopia try it. There's what's it called? Like the game called Star Citizen. It's the same thing, right? People have been funding that game for like 15 years, I think, by now, and they've made millions. And still working on it. People agree with it. Me personally, I'm like, I wouldn't personally invest that much money in the game, but
yeah,
I'd rather wait until it's finished. But somehow, um, you need to fund your project, and as long as you deliver enough proof that you're actually working and not buying Gucci at the store just to to hang out with the kids,
yeah,
I'm fine with that. There's no problem with over minting your community. But me now, in my personal opinion, I I prefer seeing milestones before I mint something again.
yeah,
So I personally wasn't really into the cornucopia since day one. I didn't like the mint, how it happened. There was a lot of controversy around it, and I kind of shy away overall from anything branded metaverse. I'll be very honest. I'm not too.
Same.
My understanding of metaverse is very different than somebody else's understanding of metaverse. So
yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that was a very political answer, I guess.
We're
Yeah,
Americans.
good,
You want
good.
to be neutral. I want to argue.
We love
We are
Yeah,
politics.
Americans.
We love
yeah.
arguing. We love fighting.
You tried
We
to have
love
that like
guns.
you tried that
Pow
YouTube.
pow.
Oh, you're in Texas,
Yeah,
so be careful, mate.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Be careful.
yeah.
Oh, I'm never careful because I am in Texas. Pow pow. But but I feel like mob mentality in every community is so deadly. So to go after somebody with such a big following is fair. So it kind of hurts the Cardano community. Because it's so much different than just talking to him and being like, so we do get where you are coming from, but sending people after him, giving him that attention when you are doing your best to build, that is so not professional. from
Well, you wouldn't
my point of view.
you wouldn't expect that from a big team, and as
Yeah,
professional as they brand themselves, you wouldn't expect that from them. You'd expect them to answer very politically, like I just did, for example.
yeah,
Like, oh, it's a business decision, blah blah. You agree with it or not, and then whatever. But to me, I think the reason why they replied this way is because they're worried. If you're not worried, and if you like, I remember back in the day when we were about to mint, the 10K collection, which was quite controversial at that time because we didn't have the hype that people anticipated. We were just after Clay and their second drop. We were right before Hoppers and Equine, which was two hype projects, and
yeah,
Goats just started before us. And right the day before we minted, Kongs went live. So we were like
yeah,
in that position. Everybody was like, Universe is barely going to sell anything. But we stood our ground. We're like, there's nothing to fudder out. There's nothing to be, all mad about. We believe in what we do. So we can, and if you think this way, and if you kind of have a confidence in what you're doing, and if you don't really care that much about the outcome in that sense, you just do because you think you're doing the right decision, you can react pretty calmly to things. So if Cornicopia would be very calm about what they're doing and they really believe that this is the right decision, that they're going to sell out, they're going to make the funds that they need, they wouldn't react this way. So that's
yep.
kind of what my answer to it. I think that maybe it comes more about a little bit of oops. We have to be careful that there's zero fun because we can't take any critique. Otherwise, we're not gonna.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one. Tyler?
Oh, okay. I got this one. If you had to go back to high school, what would you change about it?
Oh wait, I have to think. High school for you guys. What age is that?
Like like
14 to
14.
18.
14. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's yeah. I'd learn coding for fuck's sakes. Honestly,
Jesus.
I'd learn coding. It's such a skill that like even me now with experience with Universe, how many people we've been interviewing for coding and just trying to get coders. I'd learn coding, but I did technically learn coding back in when I did because I initially studied IT, but I just didn't. It was missing something creative with it. But yeah, back then I think that would be the only difference. I'd stick around coding a bit more, and I'd buy Bitcoin.
Oh,
Hey.
yeah. Buy Bitcoin.
Everybody
Great
was like,
answer.
Yeah, yeah. For me, back then so I didn't care about anything but like what was going on right then. So like back then I did have a job, but I'd just like save that money and then I'd go out and eat every day,
mm.
which I mean is the mindset of most like 15, 16, 17 year olds, but not the best mindset. And also like I wouldn't focus so hard on like these relationships with girls. Because I feel like
Such a ladies' man.
Yo.
not even that, man. But back then, so I just pumped way too much time into one girl that wasn't very nice to me. That I kind of just got abused by again and again and again, and I will go more in depth later in
Uh,
a different podcast, but
please have me back by then. I want to join that
Yeah.
podcast.
Will you be
I
but
will
want to
you
be
be
all over
changing
it.
your name? Will you be changing your name to Simp Boy?
yeah, Simp Boy CNFT. But back then, I have just put way too much attention into this one girl, and I ignored everything else. So, my buddies, like my homework, I just ignored all of it. And not that grades are that important back then, but girls are also not that important. Unpopular opinion from a
I'm
single
popular.
man. Tyler?
Drum roll, drum roll.
I'm trying to think. I went to like a really, I went to like a really small like private school. So I guess I would say like I wish that like I would have just went to school elsewhere just so I could like have more experiences with like different I don't know.
girls.
Everybody everybody that goes to like private school is basically like the same people because you have to have like some sort of like money or some sort of in to get into private school anyway. So everybody kind of comes from like the same background. There's not like a lot of
Yeah.
diversity, I guess. So I would just like change high schools altogether. I didn't like my school.
When did you kind of realize that that real life wasn't like your
Well, I would say,
private high
yeah,
school?
yeah. I would say probably like my senior year in high school. So when I was like 17, 18, I think that like, well, especially like in my case too, like I went to like a very like religious private school too. So that like,
Yeah.
it's not only that like everybody is kind of like the same way, everybody believes the exact same thing. So I think that like being older and like having like my own car and being able to like go out into the world, you kind of get like more of like a glimpse of like what the real world is instead of like the bubble that you grow up in. Because I went to
Yeah.
private school like mostly like my whole life. So yeah, I would say probably like very at the end of high school, I was like, well, this sucks. Like I just wasted so much time here and
Yeah.
nobody's cool.
Yeah, so I kind of get that, and we kind of talked about this back in the first episode, but I went to a very 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 wealthy public school where everybody that went there, so I think it was like 70% Caucasian, like 20% Indian or Asian, then like 5% black, but that's just because it was such a wealthy area. So I feel like I really kind of learned that I was in a massive bubble when I went to college, because when I went to college it was like 50% Caucasian, 50% black. So that like really opened up my mindset because I had no idea before.
And then you were a frat boy.
Yeah. So
That's when the frat boy
so
starts.
so
Yeah.
I was in that bubble, punching holes through windows. If you missed the second episode, go listen to why I punched a hole through a
That's so
window.
actually that's actually so funny because I was telling you about my buddies that fell over the fence. They were both in the
Nice.
same fraternity together in college. So I feel like fraternity
Makes
people
sense,
just
man.
break stuff. Like why do they break
Yeah,
things so often?
Because
I
it's
think
so much
I think
fun.
pretty much what Europeans think about you guys over in the US when it comes to flats. It's like a big messy house with a lot of beers and
Oh yeah.
other fluids.
We just pee on each other all the time. It's
Jesus
just golden
Christ.
showers all the
Oh my.
time. Yeah.
And you have your parents pay for that shit. Like, it's like, hey,
Yeah.
dad, do they?
Yeah, it's
Or,
really
or
yeah.
yourself
You
because you
basically
guys are in debt.
you basically just like buy friends.
Yeah, which in my opinion, I ended up buying like shitty friends that weren't there for me, which is a big reason why I didn't continue college when COVID began. Because if I did, then I'd be first
Also,
off
so,
paying full for college and then also paying for shitty buddies.
so you quit
So
right before COVID or during COVID?
so the semester before COVID, me and my ex broke up. So like she was the only thing that made sense in college at all,
Okay.
because my best friend in college, he kind of like fucked me over. So and then I'm like shit, but we were both in the same fraternity. So and then they kind of like fucked me over. Some of them are very cool. Most of them were dicks though. So it's things like that then when COVID began, that was the perfect time for me to just pause, take a break, figure out my life,
Mm.
then kind of go from there.
Okay.
So that's when I found NFTs, because I also worked for the government before that, and that was fucking garbage.
The American government
after,
is elite.
it's the best of the best. There's
But,
no arguing. Everybody wins all the time. It's great.
if I could choose right now, I'd go work for the Swiss government. It's fucking mint. It's like easy peasy life. But
not us.
Not here. Okay.
Not us. So I talked about that a bit before, but like when I worked over there, it was during the Biden versus Trump debates, which everybody there like loved Biden, and I didn't care about either. So I did my best to just focus on me, but they kept on attacking me and being like, "You need to do this. You need to do that." No, I don't.
Pick a side. Take the red pill or the blue pill.
Yeah.
You choose.
Literally, which I was so not for, because I'm like so I don't care about either party. So why should I vote when I don't pick a side in the first place?
Don't you guys have a like independent party? Aren't they like super underrated? Just give them their vote.
Yeah, Independents get like 3% of the vote every year, or something like that.
Yeah.
Almost like, you know, like when you go,
we
like,
love two-party systems.
Two parties. Well, it's like
terrible.
How do you say, when you go like to those like castings, like events, you know, when you do whatever, and if you didn't win and you just like the last couple places, they give you like this medal, like thank you for participating. It feels very
like
much like that.
Participation medal, yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, you did a good job, guys.
Yeah, well, and I mean, I actually like that's why I think like me and Mitch are like such like the good combo, because like I feel like we're like so different. So it's like but we get along so well. So like he's like not into politics at all. I love politics. Like I read books on it. Like it's like a hobby. Like I really enjoy it, and I think that like in American politics, like most people don't even like it. Like if you're not an independent, most people hate the independents because you feel like they're like spoiling it for everybody, right? So like if your candidate lost by one vote, but or like 1%, but the independent party like voted 3%, you were like, you guys just wasted your votes. Like you should have voted for my guy, and that's basically how everybody feels.
Yep. Because there's only two teams.
That's the thing. Yeah. It's like there's like I read, like, I love also, for me, I kind of like I kind of do my best to kind of read about global politics, knowing about what goes up in Switzerland. And like the best podcast I was listening about it was basically that was back in I think it was Clinton versus Trump era, when they were like, you know, when they were choosing. And the guy was like, I don't know what to vote for. It's basically if I decide to shoot myself in the left foot or the right foot. I don't want to shoot myself either. So it's kind of like, what do I do now? It's like, you know, if one of these two are not who you think should represent US, you still kind of have to pick your lesser evil, which, you know, shouldn't be a way. Like in Switzerland, it's way more confusing because we have 7 presidents. So it takes a while to get shit done, but it's quite democratic. It's quite a good democracy if you look at it from that perspective. But 7 people, you have to go in through legislation, voting, read about who is he, and so this is where we have quite a good broad, how do I say, representation about from all the way from left all the way through to right, everything in the middle. It's quite well represented.
Which is kind of the way it should be, and because because the US is so fucking big, that would make sense to have more areas be represented, rather than just tossing us all in a single pot and being like, there can only be one winner.
The US is too big. You can't get 1,000 people to agree on one discussion. How are you going to make that with millions of people? So the US as a political entity is way too big, with from West Coast to East Coast having completely different views politically and economically and anything, right? So getting everybody to agree on one party is just good fucking luck, mate.
So much FUD. It's too much FUD.
Too much. Well, we watch the US election as Europeans, and we eat popcorn in front of it because it's like a sitcom for us. Because even just like, you know, the way you guys are battling each other, it's more like, how can I?
It's like a sport. It's like a sport in like.
It's like, well, I kind of look like a theater plays. Like, okay, how can I like diminish whatever that person says? I'll diminish it and just try and bring up every like person I think we're bringing up with Biden's kids, what they do wrong is like fucking kid, like I don't know. It's just vice versa, on both sides. Like, it has nothing to do with it. He has a job to do. His family has
Yeah.
nothing to do with his job.
Right.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much quite different if you look at the U.S. politics versus the European politics. But yeah, European is difficult to say because also there it's very different. Like if you look at UK, it's fun to watch. UK is fun. Just,
Yeah.
if you're interested, watch the UK. It's quite fun.
Because it's very similar to the U.S. politics, but just a bit smaller.
It's a bit smaller, but also very traditional. Like they still live by the old rules, like like the House of Commons and stuff like that. Like they scream at each other until like the guy in the middle is like, "Oh, shut up!" And yeah,
Yeah.
it's very unique way of doing politics, but it works. Well, depends who you ask.
I
Again, it
think
depends who you ask.
I think everybody in government should have to wear like the the wigs, that we used to wear in like the 1700s with the curls. I think everyone should have to wear those, and then like nobody would want to be a politician because you look like an idiot, and it'd be great.
100%.
It'd really thin out. It would really thin out the crowd.
My only thing with politics, we should add an age gap. Like, come on, you're 60, stop it. Just
Yeah.
you can
Yeah,
consult, you can help us.
if
You
you
can,
would retire in like a private job, you should definitely retire for this public job.
yeah, we've got one or two politicians that are like 75, something like that. You're like, what the heck are you doing? Like, I get it, you still want to work, but you just be an advisor. Just help advising the person that's involved. But get some new minds and new fresh meat in the whole
Yep.
thing. So you've done your service. Thank you for everything. Now hand over the keys and and enjoy your
Right.
retirement.
Yeah. Because these people, they are back in the 80s, the 70s. Meanwhile, we've advanced so far, but they are so far behind. Where with like crypto and that, they have no idea what's going on at all because
Yeah.
it's 10 years old, right? Back when they were 60.
Yeah, it's like
So
that's actually true. Yeah, there's 60 when Bitcoin actually came out, yeah, more or less. But yeah, that's the kind of thing. Is like you need that kind of like, even just when you like see the Congress when they were having a meeting with these people from crypto. Like I think Charles Hosking was one of them. When they have these these meetings with Facebook or Google, these type of questions they ask is like, you realize there's no knowledge about what's going on. So like, then
Yeah.
you should put people in that position that know
Right.
how to handle these kind of things and what the internet actually can do and what actually crypto is. It's not it's not an easy topic, and it's not going to be an easy thing to deal with as a government. Like the government's going to have a hard time figuring out how to balance crypto because we can't go into anarchy in a way. As much as some would like, I'm kind of also I like decentralization as
Yeah.
much as
Yeah. I
possible.
like stability.
Yeah, there's
Um,
both. You have to have kind of how much decentralized can you make it without going too far, right? It's same thing as the whole best topic to discuss about that you will never agree on is free speech. How much free speech
Yeah.
is good free speech, and how much you're going too far. So I think the government that's coming up and has to deal with these answers about how to regulate and how to deal with crypto as a platform and as a um, you know something that will back our countries in the future is not an easy feat. So you need people that are going to be sticking around for a bit longer than 2 years before they
Yeah.
get put on a breathalyzer.
So let's go to the next. So, what is the hardest part about being a dev / founder?
Availability, I'd say.
Yeah.
But also, to me, it's like the expectation of delivery. Like I'd say, I kind of am one of the luckier side of being a dev in a sense from the community we attracted. It really depends on your community. Like, if you promise the moon from day one, people are going to be on your ass about, okay, when are we there? We've been very transparent
When
about
moon.
our goals. Yeah. So, to me, is that what keeps me kind of awake is usually delivery on something that people would be proud of. That's this thing that keeps me awake is really, okay, I want to make sure that people enjoy what we do, and don't get bored of us. I think that's something that always worries, I think, every dev. And because the space moves so fast. And I think some devs that really have good intentions, but as soon as they drop, they realize, okay, I have to maintain this level of hype throughout.
Yeah.
Which is impossible, especially with the rates and the attention span of everybody of 10 minutes. And even me, like, I skip through YouTube because I'm too impatient to watch the full video. As soon as they go in lab, I skip. And that kind of shows me, that's our attention span on the internet. We need to deliver. And the way I kind of calm myself down is, like, if you buy an iPhone, you don't call Apple the next day and be like, okay, when's the next one coming up? I'm kind of waiting for my iPhone 12 right now. It takes, time to build stuff, and even with fashion, where my background is kind of from, we have cycles. We have 6 months to a year cycles to do collections, to create, to prototype, to research, to execute. So to me, it's kind of like, I view it that way. It's not that bad. People, if they enjoy what you do, they'll come back. And if you do your job right of communicating things at that point, when you have something new, then you're good. So that's how I try to calm myself down. But it really depends on community. I think we're really, really lucky with Universe and also Fudbuds. Like, we didn't technically sell out, which, a lot of people in the scene's like, oh, this is a failed act. But we didn't see that. We knew we had our goals, we had our ideas. We did that before the bear market. We had those ideas setting the ground. So we were like, okay, let's continue with it, see what happens. Now what we do, we just react. So we were like, okay, let's do 4,444. That's the cap. And now we let people burn what they don't like, and they pick out from the supply that's been left, that's dedicated to it. And you just need to adapt to it. It's not.
Yep.
It's not that. So it's and we had zero FUD. Not even one person in our Discord in Fudbuds has been like, oh, And you'd think differently from a community that you brand as Fudbuds. You'd think that people would be Fudbudding all the time.
Yeah.
But again, it's just who you attract. That's who you get. And with Universe, same. There's, I think, barely any people coming in and it's like, oh, Max, you haven't made an announcement in a week. But I'm not going to spam you guys if I have nothing crazy to announce. I'm here to talk. If there's questions, I'm here. I'll always reply within a couple of, like, an hour maximum. But when there's an announcement, I'll make an announcement and I'll be quite proud of it. The next one is hopefully the 1 million delegation milestone. I hope that's the next announcement I get to do. We're getting pretty close. We're getting pretty close.
So you keep on saying that you got lucky with the community that both Fudbuds and Universe got, but because it's with both of those communities, kind of don't think you got lucky, but there's something you are doing that other communities aren't. What might that be?
I think it's who I'm surrounding myself with. If you look at Jack, his track record, he's been around for people a lot. He's done a lot for the space behind the scenes that a lot of people don't even know what he's doing, and a lot of great stuff. Lewis is just an awesome guy, and in general, just fun to hang out with, and just very, it's just the way he does an announcement. It's just fun and everything. Flavio, he's just who he is, and he's just, as dry humored but fun to to have, and George the same, very similar humor. So it just depends on Ivan the same. It's really just who you decide to hang out with, and then you kind of, as cliche as it sounds, you kind of have that law of attraction thing. It's like if you go with this, like, do an invite giveaway and this and that, and just get these people to get used to you doing stuff every 5 seconds. That's who you're going to get, because they're like, well, 2 weeks ago when you asked money from me, you've been very effective with announcements, giveaways, with Twitter activities. But now that you minted, you're slowing down, which is normal. When you mint, you take a nap because you haven't slept in like 3 months. So I think for us was honesty. I think we said it from the beginning. We're not a project that will sweep our floor. We're not a project that will pump our bags. We're just here to let Flavio do whatever the fuck he wants to do with the idea, the laws, and where it goes. And very similar with Fudbuds. The roadmap is even more transparent. We do what we feel is right, and we deliver on what we believe is something that is good for the community, and that we can say we're proud of at the end of the day. And I think that really transcends through your community. at the end of the day. There's still going to be some, a couple of them that are going to be a little bit mad at the fact that maybe your floor is a bit too consistent. We're a stable coin at this point.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that percentage, if you look at it from a numbers perspective, is very little compared to people that are enjoying. We have people coming in our Discord every day just to say good morning, and we have people even after a couple of weeks out of the Discord, like, oh, I'm sorry, I haven't been around too much. Just life is getting in the way. So I think it's just who you attract, and we've been showing that we're still there even after a long time not doing a mint. We could have done a mint months ago, but it wouldn't have been what we wanted it to be. So that's what we stand by.
I do think that, like, to play off something that Max was saying, like in the beginning of answering that question, I do think a lot of people, like you were saying, the way that like you engage with your community means a lot. I think that a lot of people that start projects in the space, they really underestimate the, what's the word I'm trying to say? Like how close you are to the community compared to like traditional relationships that we would have with like traditional companies. Like if I buy something from a website and then I don't like it, I can't like message the guy and be like, this is shit. You know what I mean? But like when you are like a dev in the CNFT space, like people are literally like just messaging you, or they can like just get a hold of you, at will. And I think that a lot of people like underestimate how close you are to that community. And then so that way, I think a lot of people might get overwhelmed, if something doesn't go right, or they overpromise and underdeliver. And then once people start like, coming for your neck, so to speak, then there's like, I think people just kind of die out from that like exposure to so many people like asking something of them.
Yeah, but it's that's kind of like what I believe in. Is like let the work do the talk, and not you putting some beautiful marketing words to it. And I think our mint I'd say we would be kind of that perfect example in that sense, that what we did back then was quite unusual. We pre-minted the entire collection just because we wanted a smooth drop, because back then there was no good minting systems. Basically, it was pretty wild west. So we pre-minted everything, and the day of the pre-mint was a day before our whitelist started, and we basically flooded Pool RPM with our humans for like 3 hours or 4 hours straight, and that's what got people to join our project, because they could actually see the NFTs, they could see what's going on beyond just the how can I say, beyond the previews that we post, that we tailor make look super cool, because we pay attention to what kind of previews you get out there. No, we're going to show you the NFTs, and what we promised was a very diverse collection, and hence the trait count and all that stuff. So I think that is really what means it. It's like the work will do the talk, and who sticks around. And I think the bear market is going to be the second thing. Which project's going to stick through a bear market and do what they can to stick around, because not everyone's going to make it, because people cost money. Everybody has bills to pay, as much as people don't want to believe that, but there's bills to pay, there's apartments to rent and stuff like that. So we'll see who actually, for me, I don't care if a project doesn't survive the bear market. I want to see if they at least try to survive the bear market. There's a big difference between that, because like you said, an e-com website has the best intention. They go in sales and they go bankrupt. Shit happens. That these stuff go that way. But so, for example, if a project I invested in a lot goes bankrupt, but I saw that the intention of the devs were there to kind of pull through, I'm not going to be mad at it. They tried. My risk for investing in it in that way. And but I think it's a very interesting thing that you mentioned, that if you really compare it to a traditional company, they're not that close to the customers. Like Twitter DMs, like Instagram DMs might be the closest, but which company nowadays monitors the Instagram DMs anymore?
Right, and even then, like even like some of the smaller, like maybe like an e-commerce store or whatever, there's like the person that owns it, and then maybe like one or two people that might be like an assistant to that person. So like the likelihood that you're actually going to get in touch with the person that like runs everything is very small. So that was kind of like my point, is like you are able to literally like reach out to the person who is in charge of everything,
which is a gift and a curse. So from a perspective from a dev, it's both. From perspective of a customer, I think it's great, because you know who you're buying stuff from, which to me is a good thing. And that's where I said from the beginning, if you're not transparent, you have something to hide. I'm very prominent on that, and I still believe that to the day. That, and that's the same with, we never shied away of what we're building and apologizing for certain dislike, even recently to the council. So if you're OG member, so if you have an OG token, you get access to the council where we drop some stuff way in advance, just to get some feedback. And we realized, I kind of realized I'm kind of living in this little Discord bubble because, there's enough to deal with plus work, and maybe neglecting the community over on Twitter. So it's like, okay, let's see how we can bring over that Twitter community over into that. And that was kind of also us as a team, or me as, lead in that in that, specific area. Kind of say, okay, I'm sorry about that. Kind of like I was too focused on making sure everybody was happy on Discord and still doing the work on the side. And you get to also tell, your mistakes, but also, what you do right. So I like that aspect of it. It's very human in a way, which I like a lot.
Well, so kind of talking about being human, what is the largest animal that you could beat fist fight, Max?
So, and to break down the scenario even more, just picture you're in a cage, like in a caged arena, no weapons, no anything, and you have to literally beat this animal with your bare hands only. What is the largest animal that you think that you could beat up with just your hands?
So I can go first.
Yeah,
but,
go first.
But I know for a fact that I could beat the shit out of any bird that exists. Like give me a dove.
Have you seen like a falcon?
Fucking bald
falcon?
eagle?
They're huge.
A falcon's massive. You don't want to.
So is a bald eagle. Bald eagles are huge.
Bro, I'll fucking break his neck. Fucking rip off its head, bro. I'd beat the shit out of a bald eagle.
They have massive claws. I thought bald eagles also, like, you have to be careful around when you have your babies around because they can like just grab them because they feel like
same things with big, like just any like big bird that like eats little animals. Like if you have like a little dog, like it can literally like come and pick your dog up and just like see ya.
Yeah. So a bald eagle's never done that, but if a bald eagle ever does, I'll fucking break its neck.
See punching.
You're just gonna catch it in the sky. You're just gonna catch it right out of the sky.
But that is the most anti-American thing I have ever said. But I could beat the fuck out of a bald eagle, out of a vulture, out of a flamingo. Holy shit, I'd fucking go. But maybe not a ostrich. Those bitches are evil. Those bitches are evil. But
they're not worth it. They're not worth it.
But I mean, every other bird I could beat up. Most dogs, like maybe not a Great Dane or one of those big dogs, but if it's a Chihuahua, if it's a fucking tiny dog, I'll just punt that bitch. But
Chihuahua, the poor thing, man.
But then you think of like actual predators being like crocodiles or fucking rhinos or hippos. Those would beat the shit out of me. But
I'm thinking so. I'll give you I'll give you a clickbaity title. I could punch a goat. I think I could KO a goat.
That's so funny. That was literally going to be my answer. That was literally my answer. That was a goat because the goats with the horns, they like to like run at you. So what I'm going to do is when he runs, I'm going to just like dodge it and get on its back and then choke it out. Like that's what I think the best plan would be is to put him in like a sleeper hold and just put it to sleep. I think that would be the best plan.
You're going to do like the whole Khabib Nurmagomedov get off. Well, I can't say his fucking second name. Khabib move on him.
I
think a goat, anything goat size, like a sheep, a goat. I think I'm pretty comfortable with that.
What about a cow?
No.
They're too big.
I got there. No, the cows are dangerous.
Yeah, they'll step on you.
They're really dangerous.
So isn't it like there is more deaths by cows than there is by sharks every year?
Yeah, but statistically, there's more sharks than there are cows. Maybe.
So are there?
Yeah.
Because we like farm cows.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So
Yeah, we don't farm sharks. I'd assume it's just me now speculating, but I assume there's more cows. Come on.
like we don't milk sharks.
We're not there yet.
Although if we did,
If there's one humans that find it tasty, he'll find a way to capitalize on it. Don't worry.
yeah.
That's human nature.
But what about like fish? What is the biggest fish you could beat the shit out of?
Fish are scary.
No, I'm fine with fish. I'm
like a big tuna. Like if a big tuna like swims up on me, like I'm feeling like he's gonna hurt me. The big issue with that is that they are in the water. Right, you're in their habitat. They can move way faster. They move way faster.
Yeah, I was gonna say, am I snorkeling or am I diving? Because if I'm diving, I'm not scared at all. Snorkeling, yeah, I got chased by barracuda one day, and that wasn't funny. They're mean.
So are they?
They're like shiny stuff, and they're pretty. They're one of the more aggressive ones. Bull shark are also pretty aggressive. Like they will. The other sharks are pretty chilly. As long as they're not hungry, they're pretty chill. Yeah. I've swum with them, and
but speaking of sharks, this is going to be like kind of like a secondary question that's not even on our list of questions. But we were talking about this on the beach this weekend on my bachelor trip. Like we're all like sitting on the beach, like chilling, and somebody asked one of my other friends, like if I was getting eaten or like if I was in the water and a shark started attacking me, like biting me, like would any of you jump in to like save me? And almost everybody said no. Because
wow.
And my question, my whole thought process was like, what do you want me to do? Like what am I to do while this shark is pulling you underwater? Like go punch it? Like what do you want me to do to it? It's a shark.
Punch it in the nose. Punch it in the nose.
But see, people say that's what you do when a shark is attacking you. But I feel like it would just make it mad. Like he is biting your leg and you're just going to punch him in the nose. Like I feel like that's just like going to make him angry.
Well, there's two things. Also, are you going to be in that mental calm state about thinking, oh wait, he's biting my leg. Let me, take a second and punch him in the nose. Yeah. I think you have to be a highly skilled individual to do that, or trained individual. I'd jump in. I'd jump in.
Somebody said that it would depend on what type of shark it was. Like you were saying, a lot of sharks aren't like very like aggressive. Yeah. So, but he said if it was like a bull shark, absolutely not. He's not jumping in whatsoever.
Bull shark, you'd be pretty fucked, mate.
But when it comes to fish and things like that, maybe a tiny like a goldfish, I'd be able to beat the shit out of. But
fast, they're pretty fast. Try and catch it first.
But they're so tiny, meaning they need to go much further than I do to grab it.
But they're way faster.
You're not that quick. Yeah, they're way faster. And they can swim deeper than you.
Maybe if things were going well, I could beat the shit out of a goldfish.
So now we have to just organize a CNFT versus animals boxing match.
Yes. When people see this part of the video or the podcast, they need to go on Twitter and let us know what is the biggest animal that you could beat in a fist fight.
Yeah.
Please.
I think a lot of people are going to say, I can fight a tiger. I'll be fine with a tiger.
Yeah. Some people have like a lot of like just courage that like I feel like is misplaced.
Yeah, you have to be realistic about what you're capable of doing.
Right.
Yeah, my realistic answer would be that. Otherwise, I'd say a horse. If I'd live in a dream world.
My sister actually has a horse, and it's very big and it's very terrifying. I hate that thing.
Yeah.
I got when I was a kid. I used to ride horses. I kind of barely remember that. I was very young, and I walked behind a horse and I got hit, right in the chest.
Yeah.
And it hurts. It hurts. Pretty hard. Yeah, pretty much. So don't mess with horses.
Was the horse was his intent to hurt you?
No, I think I was just a dumbass playing behind him, which you don't do.
See, so so if you actually made this horse mad, if you made a donkey mad, even if you made a goat mad, they'd fucking kick the shit out of you. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, humans are not very well built to survive.
Yeah,
without a technology, we'd be pretty fucked.
Yeah, man.
That's why, like 200 years ago, life expectancy was like 35 years old.
I wonder why.
We're pretty bad at this.
Even a little disease like coronavirus can fuck us up. So how the fuck are we?
Exactly.
So I kind of have a theory behind COVID.
Oh,
I'm not getting in that discussion now.
We're on question number 5 out of 15. We really need to.
COVID now, it's over, mate. I'm not digesting that topic ever again.
So I'll save that for a future
episode. Save it for voice chat in universe.
Yeah, it's just we can have that VC COVID.
Well, anyways, the next question is: what is the most FOMO that you've gotten for a CNFT?
Or in a project that I would like to mint, or I missed minting?
Both.
I'm looking forward to or right now. I've been waiting for that drop since the day I've seen their first drop. I'm pretty hyped for that one. I hope it goes well for them because it's a tough market. It's not easy to drop now, and I really, really hope that the guys deserve it. The artist has been working his ass off, so I really hope the mint goes well for them. So I think that one's pretty much my kind of like next thing I'm pretty hyped about getting into. In terms of FOMO, I don't really get FOMO that much. I get it more in the DeFi. I get pretty DeFi FOMO, not CNFT. Because I just came to accept that I can't be on everything, and I can't make everything. So I kind of came to terms with that. In DeFi, like moving investments and making sure I put my money in ETH or BTC or whatever, and not resume as a Cardano maxi. I'm not so good with that. I kind of like to keep my investment in Cardano because I know the most of Cardano. I know, so I don't have the time to read about Polkadot 24/7.
Yeah.
So that's my FOMO. I wish I had more time to read up on all that stuff and look at what's outside of Cardano. Because as much as Cardano is beautiful, there's other good stuff being built. So that's aside. I think I'm more FOMO on that rather than NFTs. I'm sorry about that answer, but I got immune to that, I guess, in Cardano.
Mine is so bad. Mine is so bad. But during all the Lucky Lions hype, I ended up buying like 5 of them for 100 ADA each.
Didn't they run? Is that the 3D lines that you see?
Think they might have.
So the community picked up, no? I think the community picked up again. Oh, so they're doing a good job with it. Hopefully.
Maybe, but they peaked at like 100 ADA, so I ended up buying 5 for like 100 ADA, and now it's sitting at 20. So another one I did that for was the Riot Ape Club, where I bought the top being 250, and I bought one of them, and now it's at like 30. So
how many ducks did you buy, Millard?
Ducks and none.
None.
So I was thinking about it, but because I made that 2,000 data with my Dead Rabbit node.
Oh yeah.
I'm kind of like saving that for maybe Aura, but just because I need something to pump, so I can like make some ADA back, and I do love the kind of like the older anime kind of art, so I'll probably mint that. But
yeah, I came back from vacation and Millard was everywhere. I was like, what did I miss? Where is this coming from?
It's super.
I think it had a lot of hype on Twitter, but I didn't. I think I underestimated like how like that hype would continue. Like I feel like it just kept. Every time I would scroll, I would see a duck. I even made like a funny tweet and like a bunch of people were commenting on it. I said that like one night I tweeted like every duck PFP I see, I'm taking a shot, and I'll see you guys on the other side, or something like that. But yeah, I would say the worst FOMO I have was probably was probably Kong's when Mitch told me to buy one at like 510 floor, and I was like, absolutely not. And then literally like a month later, the floor was like over 1,000. Like it was insane,
Yeah.
and I literally felt so bad about it. That was like the one time Mitch didn't buy the top, and I was like, man, it's a tough time for me.
People doubted me, but I said
Because
nope.
you're
Now,
normally the top signal. You're normally like time to
so
sell.
so this Kong in the corner, which I'll end up editing a picture of my Kong. So I ended up buying him for 700 back at a 500 floor because I talked to Jake Shepard and I said I need the most kinky Kong that you have. So
Jake has like 800 of them, like
yeah,
massive amount.
He minted
Yeah, he
like
minted.
750, I think, and I think now he has like closer to 400.
Oh, okay, he's been
Which
selling.
is literally, that's just so insane. I wish I would mint 750 of something
yeah.
that does that well.
It's
The
Kongs for me deserves a lot of props with how they build a community.
yeah.
Like the community Kongs is very well done. Like kudos to them. Like I think it's a project that shows that um, yeah, it's worth investing a lot of time in the community. I think it's pretty good of them.
Yeah, but I ended up buying mine for 700. Then the next week it pumped to 1,500. So I'm like,
In profit, double.
And he was,
2x.
instead it was all
let's
in like
go.
my DMs on Discord, like I told you so, I told you so,
Yeah, but
like a kid.
but back then this was during the voyage days where like me and the boys would talk in voice chat every morning, every day. So I ended up getting like two like three other guys to buy into Kongs, and Big T was the only dude that didn't. So I got FOMO there, but then I also got Goat FOMO because 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 it's such a clean goat. So I'm like, let's look for other goats. Ended up not buying any more, but I'm out there looking. But then I also got Degen FOMO back when it like went up to 300, 400, 500. So I ended up buying
That was
a
like
couple of Degens for like 350, which I now feel bad about, but they'll go back up. So
it's a classic NFT to own, in my opinion.
yeah, man. So to me, it's kind of on the same level as goats.
I think to me, Degen,
Goats
there's
are.
more people that like Degen and Goats are two communities that really built their characters around their PFP. Like if you look at
Yeah.
Degens and Goats, there's a lot of people that built their community with that PFP as they were growing. Like even just Degen, if you look at Conno, if you look at Oxy, Stash, if you look at Koof, which is massive. You got Mongo, Mango. You have a universe, mate. And then
Both.
You have a lot of
kind
people.
of both. Because I ended up like working my way into the Degen group with Oxy, with Con, with Koof. Because I think Degen was the second or third NFT I bought into, and is kind of the only like original community that I'm a part of even now. Like, yes, I did build my brand on Universe and on being a donut, but during the meme war with the goats and the Kongs, I went fucking in with Deej, and even though I could only do a minimal amount that the goats and Kongs did, like I did my best to keep up, and I kind of built my brand a bit on my Degen there, but so Universe has done nothing for me. That they have only held me back from my full potential. Truth comes out,
Thank you
but
for the invite.
but with Degens, with Universe, they helped me get to where I'm at now with like 1,400 followers, which isn't a bunch, but that follower kind of letting me do what I'm doing now with the podcast and with live streaming and doing things like that, because
Well, now you're
rather
starting
than
also. Sorry.
because rather than going from 0 to 100, I'm at 50.
Well, now it's kind of like what you do is now you start pumping out. You're starting also pumping out something that you deliver to the community that you build.
Yeah.
So that's where you start building. From funny tweets and being a character, you can only reach that far, and now you start actually bringing something to the table.
Yeah.
And it's also you coming in I think you guys are coming in an era of NFTs, which is going to be way more difficult to build an audience compared to back in the day.
Yeah.
Like back then, when you were an influencer, you kind of reached your goals pretty quick if you were consistent and you were talking in Discord. And if you were doing that like work that you were doing anyways, but the community was so like looking for it. They were longing for someone like Connor, like Salad, like Jack Shepherd, and all that stuff. Like they were longing for somebody like this because there was a big demand for it. So achieving their numbers, not to diminish what they've done. I'm just saying, like, if you compare the growth and it's much harder now to kind of grow out of it than how it was back in the day. Not saying it was easy for them, but you still have to put in the work and be consistent and actually provide something that people actually can reflect with. And if you did that back then, so it's a different era now.
So the next question is, so Max, we know that you are currently dating somebody, but hypothetical single you, what is the coldest person that you would sleep with?
The coldest?
The oldest.
Like
oldest.
where does your age cap out? This is definitely a stutter question, as you can tell.
I was going to say that's a stutter question.
This is a Mitch question.
Woo!
I'm happy you're asking this, and now we're 13 minutes in the podcast. So I'm definitely sure my girlfriend's not going to be listening that far, so she's definitely not going to be hearing that. I don't know. I'd say I'm 31, so I'd say maybe 40.
Wow, you are setting it kind of low, man.
No, I feel the same. I would say like 10 years from where I'm at, like at any point.
Yeah, I was thinking the same, 9-10 years.
So I'd say like a decade, because like if it's more than that, like you wouldn't know anything about like what like I like do or like what I grew up with, like because you totally missed that a long time ago.
No, yeah, maybe you're just a gold digger, mate. That's why. Go after these.
Maybe I'm the weird one, or
you don't say.
Maybe you guys might agree, but it kind of depends on like how hard these people age. Because there's like certain races where 30 might look completely different. So
wait.
30 might be
let's
20.
pause. I don't know if we should go down the road of like certain races looking better than others. Like maybe we should reel it back in before we go too far down the road.
Don't even branch it out.
You're gonna get clipped. You're gonna get clipped and then canceled immediately.
This is fine. Because people my age might look completely different around the world, and that's fine because it's like who we are. So it kind of depends on how well you do age. So if you are somebody that smokes every day, that doesn't take care of themselves, then it might be 10 years. So like 32 to 33. But if you are somebody that goes to the gym, that sleeps good, that's like working out, doing these things, then maybe like 55. Am I weird for that, or is that
wait? How young are you then?
So I am 23.
Jeez,
but see, Stutter. My thing would be like this person like grew up without the internet. Like they're so different from you. You have like nothing in common. Like they grew up watching VHS movies.
That doesn't matter.
I grew up watching VHS movies.
I mean, I did too. I mean, they were around when we were little, but I'm just saying, like,
Oh, I'm not that old, mate.
That was kind of like a
Say
stab at you, but then like trying to just blow it off like you didn't hear me. But that was funny.
But you also need to keep in mind I'm not marrying these people.
Okay, that's fair. Fair point. I took it too far. I'm getting married.
Just, that's your thing,
We
apparently. You
are.
get married, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I guess I'm just a whore. But
He's a dine and dash guy. He dines and leaves.
but because of that, it doesn't matter if they don't like crypto or NFTs, or if
because
they don't know how to use a computer or do anything.
The only thing
that.
you'll be doing is grabbing their credit cards to buy more clay.
Yeah.
That's right.
But probably 55.
Isn't Halle Berry 55?
I don't think celebrities count because they literally have like nutritionists and stuff.
See,
like if you don't eat they don't eat better. McDonald's ever, never eaten McDonald's.
See, this is the type of 55-year-old that I will have sex with.
Yeah, well, we're reverting back to the same question: what animal can you beat? You have to be realistic with your goals.
Yeah, realistic with your goals. The overconfidence rug pulls yourself.
But you also need to think that there's going to be older people like me that would be like, how low could I go?
Well, I mean, but there's a law. There's like laws to guide that. There's there's only so low that you can go without
legally,
being in trouble.
How low can I go? So
I was gonna make a Texas joke. I'm not gonna say that on
there. That is not Texas. That is Arkansas and Alabama. But but because of that, I think that'd be 55. Okay, next question before I get canceled any further. What is y'all's biggest fear?
That's easy. I'm terrified of frogs.
I'm terrified of spiders. Don't mess with that. And the internet has been playing with my emotions with spiders.
Yeah.
So
there's some guys in the Voyage Discord that are Aussies, and they like showed one day we were talking about spiders, and they were sending us pictures, and the spiders there are unreal.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, on Twitter, Fula, he's also in Universe. He posted a picture of his spider in front of his porch, and he started a whole thread. And a whole day I couldn't go on Twitter because the entire day it was people just showcasing their spiders. And then afterwards,
was not a good day.
And at that moment, it kind of came out that I have arachnophobia. So everybody in Universe was spamming spiders, and then everybody in Fudbuds was spamming spiders. So I could go nowhere. No, I can't deal with spiders. I can't deal with that.
So I kind of get that because I don't like bugs, but my biggest fear is being alone.
I think everybody has that. I think everybody has with themselves.
Yeah. Nobody likes to be alone.
I don't. No matter how antisocial, how enjoyable you are, I'm someone I embrace my alone time. But even I would say it's not fun to be alone 24/7.
Well, I think there's also levels to it too. I myself, I like to go out to the bars and stuff on the weekends and stuff, see my friends. But most of the time,
you do.
Most of the time I'm pretty introvert. I'm pretty introvert. Yeah, I did. Yeah. But most of the time I'm pretty introverted myself, and I think that but even doing introverted things, I'll be on Discord, in my office, playing a video game, talking to people on Discord, or talking to somebody on a game, or I feel like there's always some sort of interaction with somebody else, or at least to me, even if I'm doing something that's very introverted, I'm doing something where I can at least interact with somebody. But I think there's but there's some difference between being scared of being truly alone, and I think that everybody is terrified of that.
Everybody has that. Yeah. That's a scary thing.
With me, so even if it is me doing something alone, like editing for 9 hours, which I'm going to do, Like even with something like that, I like to feel like there's people surrounding me.
So
Like
my question with that though, since now we've become like, I think now with again COVID kind of like brought us all together on Discord a bit more. Because what I've realized very quickly is like my social, like if you have a social meters, like in the Sims games, when it's
Yeah.
pretty low, you're
yeah.
charging. Do you guys feel like Discord fills that social like bar? For me, I don't know. I'm curious about you guys, but I have my
Yeah,
own
I
thoughts.
think
So
I think so. I think it does to like a certain extent, but more so than anything since COVID, I think that like my like social media or my social meter per se, like being around actual people, like or like IRL people, it like gets like it fills up way faster than it did before COVID. Like now, like if I go to like the movies or something, if there's a lot of people there, I feel like really weird. I'm like, why is there so many people here? Or if like I
yeah,
go to out to like a restaurant and it's like super packed and there's like a lot of people, I'm like, I don't like this. Like, why are there so many people around me?
with me, like I don't think so, but that's because I'm kind of the opposite, where I do need that in person social part much more than I think others do.
Yeah,
Just because I've been there where I'm so alone, and then the only people I have are people on a line, but that's that is only so deep. Like these might be my online friends, but 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 if I needed somebody like in real life to come, then none of those people could.
yeah. It's because you have
Yeah,
that distance barrier in a way.
yeah,
Like
that
Yeah,
distance
you're
barrier.
not.
But
Yeah,
I also think to your point, like the anonymity of like online people, like Discord friends or whatever it might be. I think that anonymity plays like a big part too, because I feel like you could probably, at least for me, like I feel like I could like share something that maybe like one of my actual friends would think is like weird or something like that, or like maybe like laugh about. But like online, like people, you're not like, I feel like I'm not as afraid of like rejection because like I don't like it, I could just like delete the message. Like, what are you gonna say? You know what I
yeah.
mean? Um, so I think that anonymity plays like a big part. Like I feel like sometimes I feel like I could share more than I would like IRL just because like people don't like. I mean, now they know my face, but
Mm, Hey, but
now we can all judge you in silence when you write.
yeah,
for drinking shots out of snorkels.
Yeah, definitely.
good, good. But that's probably my biggest fear, and it's only because I've been there to the max. Like
Mm.
during my last semester of college, I was completely alone. Like I was so bored that the only time I'd leave my dorm was to go to classes, and then I wouldn't even go eat just because I was that depressed. And then nobody nobody in real life was there for me.
Yeah,
So I feel like just that comfort of being in a household with people that are usually there, or Dave is there locked in his cage, just
Oh, Dave.
just kind of gives me comfort. So that's a big reason why I'm not like looking for for an apartment immediately, because I do have my getaway, which is both Cardano NFTs, both doing this, and then also going live and doing things like that.
yeah.
So
I think, but it's also like what I like about this is kind of like, I don't know. For me, Jack and Lewis, George, Flavio, I know in real life, like he literally sits across there, but I count them as closer friends by now because I kind of
yeah,
chat with them about like now not only like about work or about we chat about everything. So it's kind of like for me, my social media gets filled up pretty quick in IRL
yeah,
because I'm kind of like I don't feel like I'm not talking to anybody all day, even though
yeah,
I'm at my desk.
yeah,
So that was kind of interesting for me because I was pretty much like you, Sada, when you was kind of like saying that you need that physical interaction and just meeting
yeah.
someone in real life. I was very much like that. But now I've realized a bit. I've kind of become used to that. So I'm almost now to a point where I'm more available for my CNFT friends, if you want to put it that way, than I am for my real friends, because I think that
Kind of same.
because we went through a lot of stuff together. Like doing a mint is stressful, as individuals. Like you two building this podcast and going through this is, it's not an easy thing, as so it brings two people together quite strongly. So it's something I don't share with my best friends, outside of the community. So that kind of creates that gap, right? So I'm in that phase of my life where I'm interacting with more and more people that are in tune with my my goals, if you want to put it that way.
Yeah.
And my friends are like, just all doctors anyways. So
yeah, my buddies are kids going to college, becoming actors. Meanwhile, I'm over here like setting up my millions, hopefully, but setting up more so that meanwhile they're like, so I'm gonna go out every weekend, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and it is important to have both, but I'm more so thinking 10 15 years. But anyways, the next question is, if you had to pick one other CNFT member to be chained next to for a week, who would you pick?
Member in terms of community member or dev?
Both.
Just or just I would say just like anybody in this space, really.
Cosmo. Because Jack and Lewis I know very well by now, so I don't need to be chained. George I've met, I don't need to be chained. Flavio either. Cosmo, because he's a very, very interesting individual. Or Clicks. I think Clicks is a very interesting guy. I'd say Clicks. Actually, I take it back. I'd say Clicks. I think his live views are very interesting. And like the more I hear about who he is, it's very interesting as an individual. So, Clicks.
So I'm going to put this out there, but I think that I'd be the worst person to be chained up with for a week.
Would you be mad if I agreed?
Yeah. No, because I'm always doing something. I'm always talking. So I'm always singing. So to be chained up with me for a week would be fucking terrible. Like to be honest, I would hate to be chained up to myself for a week.
Yeah, I'd say I enjoy my time of quiet, so it's like, okay, I need my 10 minutes and I'll just shut up. If that doesn't happen, we would have difficulties.
Yeah. But to any member, I'm trying to think. Maybe
I think most of our in our Discord, Banjo. I think you guys have
Banjo's a cool guy. He's a cool guy to talk to.
Banjo is awesome. That's what I say in our community. Like, there's nobody I can think of that I would like. If it would happen, so be it. Knockers would also be interesting for me.
Yeah.
Banjo.
But my reasoning behind Banjo is kind of like Big T. We believe in very different things, but I feel like we wouldn't go like batting back and forth. We'd just be able to talk. So
as we're like chained up next to each other, so we're chained by this hand, just punching each other with the other hand.
We wouldn't be doing that, which I feel like with most people in this community, I probably would be. Like before Big T and I began this podcast, every so often we'd get in like little fights about like politics and shit. Which like it's gotten so much better now that we've gotten closer. So we kind of know each other's boundaries and each other's like triggers. Yeah. So probably Banjo. Yeah. What about you, Big?
I'm gonna come out of left field with this one. I don't know, Max. You probably don't know who he is. No, you do know. I forget he's in Universe as well. Audio that's in Voyage and
Yeah,
in
Audio did that,
Universe.
right?
Yeah. Audio, he's just like I see him talking like in both Universe and Voyage all the time, and he's like I feel like he knows everything. Like he's so smart. Like every time he's like talking about something, he like instantly knows whatever he's talking about. So I feel like he would just be like interesting to like pick his brain and like talk to him about just random shit. Um,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I don't know.
Audio
I
did
feel
that.
like
It's quite interesting.
yeah, I feel like he's just an interesting guy. My next pick would be
So
Stash because Stash is handsome.
he's so hot. He's so hot. But the next question is, what is one thing that you would change about yourself?
Getting deep. Did
Yeah.
you put Connor through these questions, mate?
Yes, we did. Wait. So are you
Oh
saying that
shit!
you didn't watch the whole last episode
Not
of the
no,
Degen Report, man?
not everything. Sorry.
So are you saying that you didn't comment banana? Oh, oh
No,
my god.
no, I
I
didn't
will
want to
say
win the
when we
NFT.
I
I was
will
like,
say
I'm
when
gonna
we
be
talked
fair.
to when we talked to Kana, we did get hung up on like drunk stories for at least 45
Yeah.
minutes. Like half the episode was
Which
just drunk.
was a fantastic topic, by the way. Both
I'm
that
happy we
and
didn't go
the
that down.
worst dates.
I'm happy we didn't go through that alley. We didn't get there stuck, so I get to keep my stories perfect.
Well, we can do it later on because I'm sure that Big T will have more soon. So
I can go if you're still thinking.
Go for
yeah.
it. I'll be thinking.
Yeah. If I could change one thing about myself, I would say that like I'm very what's the word I'm trying to think of? I'm very like I get like very um like hard on myself if I'm not like really good at something that I want to be really good at. Like in my job like IRL, like I work in tech sales. So like I always want to be the best and if someone is like beating me, I get like super like frustrated. Or like if I like type even like just really little things, like if I type up like I'm like this is gonna be the most fire tweet, 1,000 retweets easily, and I get like one like, I'm like I fucking hate doing this. Like it's so annoying. Like and I just get like
Yeah.
really like I get really upset about like really little things if I can't do it like to the expectation that I have of like how I think I should be able to do something.
So I kind of get where you are coming from with that is especially with Twitter because back when I was beginning to grow my following, there were some tweets that I that I ended up thinking about for maybe like 2 weeks because I needed it to be perfect. Then when I finally posted it, it got like 5 likes. So things like that. When one of my biggest tweets was when I did a Mario Kart like meme joke about the dog car club, which
Oh,
that edit took maybe 2 minutes to do. That blew up. Meanwhile, the tweet that I like thought of, and I kept on revising and changing and making it better and better. And I'm like, yes, this is gonna be the tweet that it gets me 2,000 followers. Like completely fell apart.
mm-hmm.
So I get that. The the this is gonna get kind of sad, but the thing that I'd probably change about myself is the way I do talk,
Yeah.
being my impediment. And it's not because I don't like it, but it's just because I love like talking to people and kind of entertaining people, but it kind of makes it harder, which I guess is normal because it is a disability. But like meeting people is so hard. So I told Tyler this, but like I hate meeting people when we go to bars or when we do that because meeting girls is impossible because because they are drinking, I'm drinking, so we both are kind of talking different. So the fact I do have this impediment, they're like, this dude is completely wasted, not gonna put literally any time into him because he's a because he's drunk, because he's too far gone. So I feel like I get that too often, where maybe if I didn't have it, it might be easier to have these conversations, to like talk to people and do interviews like this. But also at the same time, I feel like my impediment gives me the ability to better get people, like because if I didn't have this and I talked normal, then it'd be much harder to engage that conversation and be like, that this is a conversation, not a interview. And then more people would get where I'm coming from. And also because this makes me different than every other podcast ever. So I feel like it also does help me. But yeah, that's kind of why I wish I didn't talk like this. But it's fine. It is what it is.
But I
It's
think
not a big deal.
a lot of people stick around for personalities nowadays. I really believe that. I think it's I see that even in the VCs we've been hanging around in Discord, on Universe. I think that was not even a topic once. People just enjoy who you are, as for who you are. For your humor, for your your sassy comments, 24/7. Call me a bitch every 2 minutes. That is for me, it's kind of like that makes it. And I think one of my closest friend also has has a saying. I didn't say it's a disability, but you told it that way. But I'd say it's more like a speech impeachment. The only thing he said what he would take out is kind of like when he gets like in these like stuttering attacks. He says it's painful because it's like it hurts. So it's he'd say take that away, but the rest is that's who he is. So
with me, so if I didn't have these massive pauses where it's like, what is he gonna say? What's he gonna do? Then I'd be fine with these like little breaks, or like sometimes I might say or things like that. That'd be fine. But big pauses are the worst part of this impediment that I do have. But Max, did you answer?
No, not yet. I hate doing mistakes. I'd like to change that. It would be easier to navigate life. I get pretty hard on myself if I do a mistake. So even if there's an announcement goes out and there's a mistake in it, I'm like, and it will follow me all the way until I go to bed. So it's definitely something I'd like to fix if I could. That's a very boring and simple answer.
Yeah, here I just like put out my entire heart.
Yeah, I was gonna say you just went with it, and I didn't follow it through with that. I didn't keep up to your.
Don't worry. Let me just edit you into the second place, and then I'll go last.
I thought you were going to say, let me edit you into Connor and we'll be fine.
let me just completely get rid of your file and then just bring Con back into it. Do a bunch of tiny edits and it'll be good.
That's right.
Tomato. You guys are both so waste.
Same.
But the next question, Tyler, you can take it.
Oh yay! I wrote. I did this question, so I'm excited about it. So all right, here it's kind of like a longer question. So if someone offered you $1 million, but every time you took $1 million, 5 random people would die, how many $1 million would you take?
Oh fuck! I'm gonna be super boring with my answer. I'd say 0.
You'd say 0.
So I would not.
I can't. I wouldn't. Okay, I'll say something if people are not going to believe. I don't like money. I'm that type of guy. I don't like money.
Cap. Builds
hey,
a whole NFT project.
Hey, look, if I like
600,000 Cardano in liquidity cap.
Wait. There's shareholders, there's distribution of shares, there's contracts. I don't get that much, mate. No, honestly,
Show
I
us
don't,
your
I don't like
Lambo.
money. I have nothing. No, I honestly I don't like money.
Yeah.
And if we were talking about that with Jack recently, because in the circles you hear what's going around in the space and some stuff, and I don't want to get into that, but we were like, if we both really liked money, we could have gouged or milked the community so much. Like, there were so many opportunities thrown at me after the mint of Universe and other things and other that. So if I really like money, I would honestly, I'd just fucking say Universe.25 is a metaverse at this point. Yeah, you got your clickbait. You get your clickbait title.
Universe.25 metaverse question mark?
Question mark.
Max's face.
And we put it in all caps.
I'll give you that.
That's so funny.
No, but I do that. So if there's if I really like that, if I went for the money, there was so many stuff we could have done to kind of really profit on that. I just know. So I would say zero. Sorry for the very boring answer.
Very boring. Boo.
I don't think it's boring.
Boo.
I would say zero. Because I heavily believe in I think that what you put out into the world comes back to you. So that I feel like if you're just an asshole person, then people are gonna be assholes to you all the time, and you're gonna stub your toe, bad shit's gonna happen to you because you're just an ass. So I definitely wouldn't do that, just because, not even for the intrinsic I'm a good person, but just I don't want bad shit to happen to me. So I'm definitely not gonna try to do that, because I feel in my heart that bad shit would happen to me after I did that.
Yeah.
It's just my mom used to tell me not to call when I was a kid, a little child, she would tell me not to call other kids ugly, because then when I had kids, my kids would be ugly because I made fun of somebody else. It's the same concept. Karma? I feel, karma, what goes around comes around all the time.
Would you guys like to hear my answer?
He said 69,000.
60,000 dead.
69 million.
Wait.
60,000.
You could spice it up by saying, for every million that you take, it's a child rapist that gets killed. That would make the conscience a bit better.
60,000. Let's kill 60,000 child rapists. 7 billion child rapists die.
So this is where you have your clickbait titles
7
Starter
billion?
Boy is gonna save the world. 7 billion.
Starter Boy kills 7 billion child molesters.
Well, by that default, we'd all be child molesters, I guess. We're not. You're gonna be alone with your pile of money.
Max, are you coming out?
No, but you said 7 billion. We are
that's everybody.
8 billion. That's everybody.
Don't think I'm a child molester, so don't know what you're talking about, man. But the original question is 5 random people. Can I pick?
No.
No, it's random.
Not
because you're gonna choose all the school bullies. You're gonna you're dead.
No,
it's not the death note.
No, because then I'd have to die. But so I'm thinking. So there's 7 billion people. So what is 5 people to 7 billion?
I'm not doing maths.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very low number. So what if I killed 5 people? Then I gave $900,000 towards a charity that solves world hunger or does something like that.
Yeah, but what if the part of those 5 people that you killed by randomly, you had 5 people that were saving kids every day of their life because they were working their ass off for that? Because it's random. So you don't know who.
Well, they were not giving $900,000 to charity. So it's kind of like.
It's like the experiment, right? We do this. We had this experiment philosophy class in the university. I can't remember. It's actually a well-known experiment, but it's with a train car, and then depending on who is in front of the train car, obviously if the train splits, you pull the lever, goes left or right, and then it'd be a group of old men or like little children, and everyone would be like, I would make it hit the old men. And then like you have to try to like reason with yourself why like someone's life is worth more than someone else's. That's I just wanted. I picked a question because I wanted to see like what everyone's answer would be.
But I'm thinking I might do like 5 people.
For 5 million?
Like
you would just take
like
$1 million, just get a quick 5 out, and then you're good.
Oh wait, yeah, it's 5 people per $1 million, right? So if you want 5, that's a lot of people. Yeah, no, I would say I'd say
5 people is a lot of people, man.
Well, you have to think about like say
one person
you took the $1 million.
A lot of people that die.
Well, say you took the $1 million, right? And then it was like 5 people die. Like, what if you kill like somebody's kid? Didn't that like affects their parents, like their brothers and sisters, like their friends? Like, it just spreads.
But what if I took that $1 million and I swept the Universe 25 floor? Max? What if I did that?
Win, sweet.
Max?
Go ahead, mate.
See. So now
let's pump the bags.
Circle.
Let's pump the bags.
So that's 5% royalties for
See. So it all changes now that I'm the bad guy. Like, sure, man. But I'd probably do 5 and then you could give like 900,000 to charity.
Which means you killed 5 people for 100,000.
Yeah.
So why kill them?
Because there's too many people, man. I'm joking. But the goal of doing that is that I get to give $900,000 to charity. So next
question. Yeah, we're gonna be on this all day. Next question. Okay. Here's another. To be fair to Max earlier, I do think that out of the episode between you and Con, your questions are definitely a lot like spicier than the ones Con had.
Yeah, it's very philosophy. Like it's very.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is. That's right. The next question is: if you were forced to chop off a body part, what body part would you pick?
So could I get a replacement?
I was gonna say
no. You had to live that way forever. Like that is like
so
that's why like you
prosthetics, something like that.
Yeah, you can't get any like fake like finger.
Pinky's pretty useless. I chop off a pinky.
Why couldn't I get a new body part? That's kind of dumb. Because if I could, then I'd chop off my entire like arms, legs. Then
you want to be Iron Man?
Become like part mech.
You want to be a transformer?
Yeah.
Wait, you didn't define the question as it's 2150. It's the year 2150, and you can grow your limbs back. We don't have that tech. The prosthetics we have are pretty shitty for if you compare it to actual limbs. For now.
But that's when I get a very wealthy mechanic dude that's like
from the millions you made from killing all the people, you can invest into buying your prosthetics. You see, full circle, mate.
Full circle.
Then I dedicate my life to saving people
with missing limbs.
That are now like robot
with no arms, no legs. It's just me waddling around. You are terrible, Max.
Yeah, I too choose pinky on the right hand. Okay. No, wait, I'm right-handed, left hand.
Left.
Yeah, pinky on the left hand.
So a body part, maybe a ear.
Jesus Christ,
it's pretty useful.
Wait,
I feel like half the time the questions that I want to ask Stutter more than I want to ask whoever the guest is on the show because he's going to say something crazy.
Do I even have ears? Nobody knows. Do I?
You want to be like, what's the guy who got his ear chopped off?
Van Gogh.
Mozart?
Yeah, Van Gogh. Yeah, he wants to be Van Gogh 2.0.
Yeah.
2.0, the CNFT Van Gogh.
Yeah, CNFT Van Gogh.
Well, he was high on
Twitter name change coming up.
Well, makes sense then, Max.
Yeah, that's fitting.
Yeah. So the next question is, what is the worst injury that you have ever had?
I told
Mm,
you your questions are so hard.
worst injury? Do you mean? Well, we're not talking about emotional. No, I'm just joking.
No, like
Um,
I would say like a physical injury.
we're not going that deep. No, I'd say I have two. One was yeah, one was I was in Thailand hiking and I slipped and I was in the jungle, so pretty far out, and I popped my knee out. So my whole
Jesus, man.
my knee my leg was on that side. Problem is, we were like 5 kilometers maybe away from the next village, I guess. So I was forced to pop it back in the jungle, and that sucked. So I
That's
had to
terrible, man.
I
That
had
sounds
to pop
awful.
my knee back in. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. I wouldn't do that again. Yeah, so I'd say that was pretty shitty. And then what was the other one? Uh, yeah, that was pretty shitty. That was a bad injury. So yeah, it's
Tyler?
definitely I wouldn't recommend anybody to pop their own kneecap back.
Well, have you
It's not
seen
fun.
like American football players, not like soccer, but like American football, like they'll pop their like shoulders out all the time. Like I've seen like like I've watched how they'll pop their shoulders out and then walk over to like the wall behind where they sit and just like hit their
Smash
shoulder
it.
into the wall and just snap it right back in. Like that looks awful. But
Yeah,
I don't
but
know. I'm
aren't they
like
like high on some like painkillers all the time because their
yeah,
job is just
because they
99%
have like
smashing
well,
your
and they
brains
all have
in?
like CTE, like they have brain damage too. So
Brain damage, yeah. So
yeah,
they don't feel it when it pops out. I didn't have that
yeah,
on hand. There was no morphine next to me.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm almost 25, and I've literally never broken like a bone or anything like that.
Same.
I'm
Same,
pretty
no
like
broken.
I've gotten like a minor concussion one time, but I was like little, so I don't really remember that. Try to think of what was like the most painful thing. Hmm. I really don't even know. Like I can't even really think of something. I mean, probably like the worst thing that I ever did. I have like a scar on like the side of my thumb. I like cut my thumb to the bone one time by accident. Um, I was moving from college like back home, and my roommate wanted to do like wire management in my room for some reason. So he had like zip tied my TV cords like behind my television. He had like zip tied them all together one day while I was just gone. I was like, it looks cool, so that's cool. But then they were tied so tight, it was hard to cut them with scissors. Like the scissors were too wide. So I took like a kitchen knife and I was like,
Hmm.
I know what I'll do. I'll cut it with a kitchen knife. And I literally just like stabbed myself right through my thumb. Luckily, my mom, who's a nurse, was there because like I was moving and stuff. So she was there. So she like bandaged me up really quickly. But
It's the
that was pretty
rescue.
painful. Yeah, that hurt pretty bad. Not gonna lie.
So I've never broken a bone either, but I did dive through a window. So that
Oh
was
yeah,
kind of bad.
apparently I'm 100% sure that happened in what was that like? What would you guys call that? Like the frats?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
the
those
fraternity.
Yeah.
fraternities, yeah. Pi
Yeah, I've punched
Gamma
through a
Alpha,
window.
whatever.
I've punched through a window too.
Something
That
like
hurt.
that. But whenever I did that, my entire body was all cut up. But like now, looking at it, I don't have any battle wounds. But you were talking about not being on morphine. Well, I was high on about 10 shots of whiskey. So I didn't feel too bad, but I felt terrible the next day, mostly because of the alcohol. But
Yeah, I was
like
probably
I
gonna say
should
probably
have
that.
gone in, gotten it sewn up, but I was 20 at the time, so that they're like, oh no, they'd let me bleed out before they got in trouble.
Hmm.
That's a joke. They wouldn't, but I think it's funny
Yeah.
that
I, if I jump through my wings, double glass here, everything in Switzerland, so you just have a concussion.
Yeah.
Oh, is it because it's cold? Like it gets so cold?
Yeah, no, we have pretty good like the regulation building. Like even our doors, like you guys have cardboard doors. We have
Yeah.
proper wooden doors. If you just try
Yeah,
to
I could
smash your
probably
way
I
through
could
it.
probably just kick through my door in like one good heave ho,
Yeah,
Same.
exactly. Here it's pretty solid. You just
which is insane that like our houses still cost so much and they're built out of like plastic. But whatever.
if I tell you the Swiss price, I'm sure maybe you didn't discuss that with Colin because that's way too much boring stuff. House prices in Switzerland, you guys are in for a treat. It's expensive here. You don't want to own a property.
But you have more. But Switzerland has like more renters, right? Than they do have like homeowners, right?
Yeah. Homeowners is very difficult to be. Like you now, for example, in
Yeah.
our generation, you even have to inherit a lot of money or a house, um, or be very lucky and be very, how do you say, saving all your money.
Yeah. Well,
Or
I
do
Or
crypto.
I
It's tax
listened.
free.
or
Yeah.
make a CNFT project and then pull out. It's
Well, I
that
mean,
easy.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's true.
Well, no.
But
But
I
technically,
listened to.
it's not taxed here.
Yeah, I listened to a podcast recently about like home ownership and like the way like we do things in like the U.S. and like basically like a lot of like the U.S. like it's like basically like ingrained in you that like from a young age that like the American dream is like owning your own house with like little fence, one dog, two kids, whatever. But like in other countries like they're not like everyone's not as like hyped up about like buying a house. Like people don't really care as much as like in America. But in America like everybody's like you gotta buy a house. You gotta buy a house.
In
Um,
Switzerland, you're
it's
super well protected as somebody that rents. Like, I'm very well insured if shit happens to my house. But if I own the house, it's, if the washing machine breaks, I don't pay it. I don't buy the washing machine. The
yeah,
property
yeah,
owner buys the washing machine. If it's my
yeah,
house, so yeah, it's that. But rent is expensive here.
yeah.
It's pretty, you have to have
My
that. But
rent is super expensive.
yeah, I heard
I could
it
go on
went
a
up like
long tirade.
20% in the US. It's been kind of
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. My rent's probably like 30% of my income.
so I pay 500 per month.
But you live with your parents.
Easy peasy. So my next question is: you are caught breaking a law. Which law is it?
tax evasion. No, I'm just joking.
You and I both, man.
Uh,
Crypto bros.
what would it be? Speeding. Oh fuck yeah, speeding. Definitely speeding.
Yeah.
I'm one of those. Yeah. Um,
What type of car?
the my last car I had was a faster one. Well, not a good one, but it was just a bit faster. Now on purpose I bought a Hyundai i20 because it's a shitty car with no PS, no nothing. I cannot even
Good.
exceed the speeding limit. Just out of I once had to borrow my boss's car, and he has like this big Land Rover, and it just drives super quick, and by barely touching the pedal. And I think I was like doing 80 in a 30. I didn't even realize it because it didn't feel like you're going quick.
Yeah,
Because I drive the speed that I'm comfortable at, and not the speed that the regulation tells you to go.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel that.
Yeah, definitely speeding.
So as a Uber, you'd think that would also be mine because I have been pulled over like 3 times with somebody in the car, which is
You're
never
such
a
a good
good
Uber.
time. So one time was because I was in the middle of nowhere, had no idea where I was, and it was completely dark out. So I got a guy in my car, and he's like, "So if you get me to the liquor mart before it closes, I'll give you a big tip." So I'm like, "Yippee! I'm gonna make the big bucks, Dad." So he gets in my car, and because I'm in the middle of nowhere, Texas, I don't know the limit. So I'm going down a back road, maybe like 10 miles over. I get pulled over. The dude's a little like, "Damn, just be careful. You are in the meth county of Texas." So I think
America,
the guy
baby.
was just
Look,
looking for meth heads, and he's like, "You talk weird, but that's not a big issue at all." So then the next time was because because I was over by a bunch of warehouses in the middle of nowhere, Texas, and so I was like maybe 2 minutes from the destination. And then a cop like comes out of nowhere, pulls me over. I'm going 15 over the limit, but because I'm an Uber and I'm taking care of these people, he's like, "Dude, you are good. Just be careful." Then the next time was because I was at a so I was at a halt sign, which is a big red octagon, but but the first sign like was all lit up with lights on it, so I could actually see it. Then the next sign didn't have that, so I ended up going past it, and then I got pulled over. But
That's minor stuff, right?
but that wouldn't even be my biggest crime. My biggest crime would probably be public urination. But
I act surprised, but actually I'm not.
but that's because I am a Uber. So I'm just driving for 10 hours and I don't eat. I don't pee. So I sometimes pee because I drink a lot of water. But sometimes there's no place you can pee. So you just have to pull up to some abandoned house or like some just piece of land and just go.
Don't you guys have more McDonald's than human people living in your country?
But
Yeah.
So you should
but
be covered, right?
but because I am a Uber, you can't always just go. So I could go to a bunch of back areas too, where there's no McDonald's. It's crazy, but that'd probably be my answer, like public urination. So
Well, I'm
I'd
sure.
probably be a sex offender.
Yeah, just make sure you're not around any schools when you do that, or you're gonna be not doing any
I
more
do my
podcasting.
best.
Maybe now I'm sure now big T's happened this weekend. Punching a policeman in the face.
No, I would say I don't even know. Mine would definitely be not paying, like because I've done it several times, just because like I forget because it's also really stupid that we have to do it. Other countries don't, but mine would be like not paying the taxes on like my car, like to re-register it every year, and then I get pulled over for not re-registering my car.
Yeah,
Like
it's so fucking
I know
dumb.
most other countries don't. We have to pay to like re-register our car every year. So if I
Yeah,
register it
we
in
do so.
August, yeah, but so I have to pay. But it's always something like it's insane. It's like $130 or something like that. I think it's really
Yeah.
dumb to pay for a car that I already own. So I would say that would probably be like the most realistic. But anyways, okay, this is the last question of the pod, and then we're gonna roll. I know you said you have another meeting after this, Max. So,
Yeah, it starts
let's
in
see,
about 10 minutes. Oh, I'm good.
10 minutes. Okay, let's wrap this up quick. As a project founder, why build on Cardano and not other chains?
Ooh,
Gonna
I've
give you a
been
light
Cardano
one
since.
to end the things.
Yeah, it's a light one. No.
Yeah.
I'm a Cardano maxi. Bye bye. Thank you guys. Love you all. I don't know. I've been on Cardano since 2016. So I was kind of just when smart contracts came out, or when in general just that kind of movement being happening where mainnet has gone live. I just wanted to do something on it, and I couldn't justify doing a mint and having to charge people about. At the time, it was between $40 and $50 for gas fees. I was just like, I don't know why. I don't want to do that to people that buy our project. Even though if you look at it in terms of financially, maybe Universe would have been more lucrative business wise on ETH because just the volume and the sheer amount that you'd get in terms of ETH was more. But again, not looking too much at money. I think it's just more fun to build. But mostly, I'd say because the community was pretty chill back then. Still is like to a big portion. It's just changed a lot, obviously, like everything. But back then, the community was pretty chill. It was fun to hang out, and people were really looking after something cool and unique. So we felt that Universe was something unique that would fit Cardano. So we're like, okay, let's do Cardano, and yeah, that was the gist of it. It wasn't too deep in that sense. It's just I bought Cardano back in 16, so I
So
sold all
you're
my ETH
rich.
believing in. No, I didn't buy that much.
You're a
So
Cardano
you are
OG.
poor.
I am poor. No, I've
But he doesn't care about money, so you can't be rich or poor if you
no,
don't care about
I'm
money.
one of those. I'm
Should
one
have
of
just
those that was
killed
like
those people.
when Charles Hoskinson left ETH, he did a massive like whiteboard presentation and a massive rant about ETH and how Cardano is going to be better. And I was like, oh yeah, let's fuck ETH. And I just sold all my ETH for a massive loss because it was a massive market crash.
Nice, man.
And then I bought ADA, and then nothing really happened compared to ETH. If you look at ETH, yeah, if you put it that way, I would have been better off keeping my ETH. But no, I believe in Cardano, what they're building. I believe the tech. I think it's good. I think it's awesome the way it's been built, and there's some good thing coming. I like being early in something. I'd rather be early and helping build and be part of something that's from day one, rather than I don't know, just not be part of a piece of history.
Yep. So I think what you are saying is you are more so doing the long-term game than the short-term.
Yeah, always. I think that's like a big. If I think about that, in anything I do, I always think about, okay, what happens in 5 years from now? That's where I put my money at. Same with crypto projects and NFT projects, kind of where I'm like, okay,
Same, man.
will I see this in 5 years? Yes or no? Or how likely are the chances I will see them in 5 years? Obviously, not everybody's going to make it, but that's how I bet my horses on a project. And even if not, if it's about the art.
This bear market will kind of like tell which NFTs succeed and which NFTs fail. Because I think I said this in the first episode, but if you were having any issues back in the bull market, then this bear market will just like multiply those times 10 times 100.
I've been feeling the effect of the bear market in terms of what we wanted to build and how we were planning on building stuff, like with Universe. Even just if we look at the merch, like I've been working on a deal with a proper merch company in Portugal that were like willing to do pretty big project with us and invest with us a lot in our merch line. And then the crash happened, and I got a phone call the day after, and they were like, "Well, sorry, we just heard the news, and we're not willing to take that risk." That was one major blowback because that's work from Feb all the way through to April, May. So, May it started to get rough. So June, it kind of felt through June. And then devs just leaving because they were like, okay, I want my paycheck in USD. So the price that you guaranteed at before when you started in April, you're like, okay, we'll do 10K. Fine. Let's say, I don't know. Let's put ADA at 1-on-1 at the time. That would be 10K ADA. We can afford that. And then, now in that bear market, it becomes 20,000 or 25,000 ADA. So then, you have to regroup, renation, just make sure that you can say. So the bear market did hit us a lot, in more than I'd like to admit, or more than I would have reacted differently if I knew that the bear market was this close. I honestly anticipated a bear market, but I didn't anticipate it before end of the year. I thought it was going to come in November maybe, but that was kind of my gut feeling. Never anticipated being that early and that hardcore. Like the Tether thing is the Terra drop kind of took us off guard, and then followed by the obvious. That hurt the market a lot. So didn't anticipate that. We live and we learn. We still here to build and we still here to do stuff, but it delayed a lot of things that I was like this close to launch. So I was pretty upset about that because we couldn't produce t-shirts on stock because we didn't have the liquidity to do that, because obviously a t-shirt would be double the price at that point. So we would have to sell a t-shirt for $100 for you guys, and then we're like, nobody's going to buy a Universe t-shirt for $100.
I would, but
but to your point, earlier, way earlier in the show, you said that like Universe is basically a stable coin, like making a joke. But I think that's like, in the market that we're in, I think that's like something to be like really like happy about, or like it shows like a very strong level of support like amongst like core people in the community. So I think that's a good thing. I mean, a lot of projects can't even guarantee that like a stable floor to begin with. So
No, that I think that kind of also shows the community we have is like, okay, yes, because we're not sweeping floor or doing trades or doing this and that, there's maybe not as much movement as people would like in terms of trades going, but
Yeah.
To me it shows that we're staying stable means that people are not selling or not buying, and they're kind of holding what they, and to me it's kind of like people are actually liking having them in their wallets and something that they're kind of like looking at and enjoying. So it's like a good pair of shoes that you buy, you just keep them, and then you're not going to resell your shoes after 2 days. So that's kind of how maybe I lied to myself to sleep better at night, and that's the reason. But it definitely works. But that's kind of like what I believe in, and yeah, it definitely, like in the beginning, early days, I was checking floor every day, and it was something that hurt quite a lot. I was like, because it was not about me caring about the floor; it's more about me caring about people that invested in the project. So, like for example, once it happened that I think Tommy swept the floor because we were just having a super great night, and the guy was just having a palace and just swept the floor up. And then just an hour later, people dropped the floor back, and to me that was more like I felt bad because I don't want this to happen to Tommy or this like that, and just have that kind of effect. Even though I feel like sometimes a lot of people don't really care about it, but still, that would those are the things I care about when I see a floor drop. It's not really about me. Oh, people could think that universe is going down. Honestly, I don't really care, but I care about what people are investing in and that they believe that we're doing something right. And that's all that.
Well, that seems to be all the time that we have today. Well, anyways, Max, we thank you 1,000 times for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be your second Swiss guest.
It's gonna be a Swiss only show from now on. Only
yeah,
Swiss.
Con said that you two are going to take over the Degen Report.
I was going to say, do you want Flavio next? You got this Swiss guy, and then maybe we can get Patrick next. He's also Swiss now. He lives in Switzerland.
Yeah.
We'll hook you up.
Then someday me and Tyler just will be so far gone, and then you'll be the host with Con and Patrick and Flavio.
No, we have a space here in the office in the corner. We just set up a sofa and 2 mics, and you guys can come and host it here.
Perfect. Well, anyways, you guys should go check out Universe.25 over on JPEG. And Tyler, anything else you want to say?
No, that was good. Thanks so much, Max. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Awesome. I really like what you guys are building, and can't wait to see more interviews. And I'll definitely be taking more time out of my day to finish them, not just start the half portion and then.
Thanks, man.
And I'll have a voice next week for everybody listening. I'll be able to speak better.
No, it was awesome. Thank you for having it. It's nice having an interview that's not just about what floor's going to pump and what this and what that is. Even the weird questions, interesting. I got through them without hopefully any cancel.
We would rather see if you would kill people. That's what we want to know.
See, my goal was to be the bad guy. So that any guest we brought on, they'd be okay with saying anything. But
yeah.
But anyways, guys, if you did enjoy the episode, we would love if you subbed and then like the video and maybe left a comment. And also go make sure to join the giveaway. We will put all of the info you need to join the giveaway over in a tweet that we will post on our The Degen Report Twitter.
What's the code name again?
The code name is Tequila.
Tequila.
But
I feel nauseous just thinking about tequila, but good.
Well, we can save that for the after party. But But guys, we hope that you enjoyed the episode, and we will see you on the next episode of the Degen Report.
Goodbye.
Bye bye.